Hey, what did everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're just having a great day. So we've been working a lot on this machinery lately. We're gonna go ahead and take a little bit of a break from that. We're gonna focus more on the ranch stuff today because we are still waiting on parts for the grader. I just checked the tracking number on the stuff that's coming for this. And what's today, Friday? I think it's supposed to be here Monday. So we still got a couple days before we can start working on this thing. So we got some actual ranching stuff that we gotta do up front. We are going to be building that big fenced off area that I told you about today. So we gotta take the 299 up there. We may be taking the John Deere, but I don't know for sure yet. If we get to that point, we'll start disking it in. Tomorrow, I'm going to be bringing in a bunch of fertilizer to dump in that field and to dump into the field that we want to grow all the hay in. So we got a lot going on in the next couple days. And as always, there may be some other stuff that makes us into this video, but I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's go ahead and jump on into it and let's roll.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
So this just keeps going from bad to worse. I tried grabbing all three, starting with two, now I have one.
Try to catch me howling at the moon.
All right, well, first up on the list, we're gonna go ahead and fire up old Trusty. You guys, she needs some serious love. So maybe when I got a little bit of extra time and money, I never seem to have both at the same time, we'll go ahead and dedicate some of our resources to getting her all fixed up. So she pretty much needs all new suspension. She needs new sprockets. The air conditioning doesn't work anymore. There's a bolt that broke off on the rear end. There's a decent amount of stuff that needs to be fixed. So we're gonna be taking it easy on her today. We're not gonna push her too hard. So aside from moving the fence panels, which even that would be hard to do by hand, pretty much everything has to be done with the tractor. So there's no avoiding it. So the first thing that we gotta take out up here is this pile of dirt right here. This is pretty much the only thing that's left over from the pit bike track. There used to be a huge mound right here, and I kind of forgot about it. Weeds grew over it. We went to drive the lawnmower over this, and as you guys can imagine, did not go very well. So this is the first thing I gotta take care of. And then we're gonna go ahead and play hopscotch a little bit with these trailers. I had originally dropped this stock trailer right here. We're gonna move this one over. That stock trailer is actually a lot more heavy duty than this one. And I think with a little bit of TLC, it could just be, I don't wanna say a showpiece, but it could look very, very nice. Whereas this one, it could look nice, but it would be a lot more work to get to that point than it would be with that one. So when we pull that one out, we're gonna put a bunch of other trailers in its place right here, and I'll probably pull that one, I don't know, we'll move it down there somewhere. So dirt is always one of those things that's very deceiving. Just cleaning up this little pile right here. We ended up with a pretty big little pile right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and start up a little dumpy. Hopefully the battery's not dead. So that way I'm not making 1,000 trips back and forth in the skid steer. Well, the light came on, that's a good sign. Ooh, baby. Ooh, I hope so. Oh, come on, girl. Ah. Almost. Oh, there we go. Perfect. All right, well, I keep going back and forth a little bit on if I want to do more dirt work and basically do like the rough shaping around the perimeter, get everything nice and flat, or switch out for the fork so we can go ahead and move all the cement pipes out of the way. We are gonna have to pick these up. These are basically the big gate panels that we are probably gonna put 2 on this side, maybe 1 on that side. We'll definitely put 1 on that side. And I don't think we'll have any along this edge, just because the trees are right there and it would kind of be counterproductive. So as far as productivity goes, I think it's gonna be better to put the forks on right now. And then once I get all the panels spread out, I'll go ahead and pull a couple lines off of the stables. We'll get a line marked out right here, exactly where we want this pasture to start. So we got a bunch of gate sections that we got to move out of the way first, and then once these are out of the way, all of the actual fence panels are tucked in the back right there. Let's go ahead and move this thing out of the way. All right, so I just got done setting down the last group of gate panels. You guys can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, each one has 4 different gates in it. So there's a total of 16 gates, which is a lot more than I thought we had actually. So we may be reconfiguring how we set things up, and we may actually utilize that area a little bit better. Instead of just being one big open pen, we might put like 4 or 5 separate pens attached to it. I don't know yet, I'm not 100% sure. So now that we have all the gates moved out of the way, you guys can kind of see everything that we have as far as fence panels go. There's quite a few of them, and not all of them are the same length. Like those ones on the back right there, those are much longer than these ones. These ones are a little bit shorter than those ones. So nothing's the same. So we're gonna have to take them all up there. We're gonna have to take account of what we have. And then from there, we'll figure out like an actual game plan of what's gonna look nice, how to make it nice and uniform. And yeah, so we're just kind of playing this by ear, but we also want to do it a little bit strategically. So I'm gonna go and start picking these up and taking them up top. Now that we got all the fence panels out here, it's time to go ahead and get these big cement pipes out of the way. They've been sitting in this field just a little too long. All right, well, we got the last piece of cement pipe right here. We're gonna go ahead and get it moved out of the way. And then there's a couple more pieces that are over that way that we need to go pick up. They're kind of these loose stragglers from when we took everything apart to begin with that used to be on the other side of the property. So I'm gonna go ahead and drag some of those over as well. We'll try and integrate them into the system too. So for everybody that's somewhat new to the channel, probably like 2 years ago, we did a ton of work up here. We were just moving forward full steam, and then we kind of had to put the brakes on things. Work slowed down, wasn't as good. We had to change a couple things up. And now we're just kind of waiting for these trees to go before we actually start moving forward again. But we do have some big grand endeavors right here. It's just kind of a waiting game until these trees are just a little bit bigger. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and grab some of these panels. You guys can see the ones leaning up against the round pen over there. So as soon as I get all those things moved over there and kind of organized a little bit, I'm probably gonna call it a day because I actually have to go work downtown tonight and I gotta get some sleep. So let me go ahead and get those moved, and then we'll go ahead and wrap things up for the day. So these two panels that I'm carrying right now are a little bit different than the rest of them. You guys can see they have these little spring-loaded actuators. These are actually part of our squeeze system, but as you guys can tell, they are not springing back like they're supposed to. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and run these down to the shop so we can give them a little bit of love and care. All right, well, I think that's about gonna do it for today. You guys can see I got all the weird paneling kind of on that hillside. We got some more there in front of the stables. I got a huge pile of trash right here. This is gonna be a very full dumpster for the next couple weeks. And then I need to figure out what to do with that round pen. I think we kind of want to move it, but for now that's not important. So when I come back up here tomorrow, we'll go ahead and take account of everything. We'll take measurements. We'll get a rough game plan of what we got going on. But for now, I'm gonna go eat some food, and then I'm gonna go to sleep because I gotta wake up like 11 o'clock and go do some work. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. So work's been a little bit on the hectic side lately. We had some emergency work come up. We had some night work come up. And so that kind of throws off my schedule a little bit. So I'm gonna be jumping back in Little Dumpy today. We're gonna be running back and forth to my neighbor's house. They have just a mountain of horse poop that we're gonna be hauling back and forth. We're gonna be putting some in that field. We're gonna be putting some in the alfalfa field. See if Little Dumpy's gonna start up any easier today than it did, what was that, 2-3 days ago? Oh, almost. Ooh. Here we go. Third time's a charm. Yeah. So I'm thinking we should probably wash this front window. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Good morning, girls. Hey, Poppins. Well, we could definitely use some new windshield wipers, but that's a little bit better. All right, we'll just stop by and grab Mr. Steve. Check out this beautiful little dirt screen right here. That's Old Faithful. That's number one. We're gonna go ahead and get turned around. The place where we're getting the horse poo is just a couple houses down from his place. So he's gonna be helping us out a little bit today. All right, so we are just cruising down the backcountry roads right now. We got Mr. Steve in front of us on a John Deere 210, which has come from Equipment Share. So as I'm looking at this right now, it's already not end dump friendly. This is This is a pretty tight turn. I'm kind of thinking the end dump's not gonna happen. So this really has nothing to do with the video, but Steve has been trying to find me a hat that will fit for a very long time. This was his latest attempt. It's a pretty cool looking hat. I super wished it fit, but it does not. Now, for those of you who do not know, I have like one of the world's largest heads, and hats just do not fit me.
I don't care if it has dirt in it or...
Oh, I don't care. Just as long as there's not like big rocks.
Yeah, no, there shouldn't be. I'll try to get you like the degraded stuff first.
Okay. Man, this thing's nice. So I went ahead and dumped my first load, but I did a pretty bad pre-trip. As this thing was loaded up, Steve was getting in, and this tire, well, you guys can tell it's pretty much flat, so it needs some air. And that one's in rough shape. It's not gonna last too much longer, so we definitely need to get some air in that one. All right, so we got the tire filled up. Might as well go ahead and check those two. We're good on this side. So hopefully that one tire doesn't separate, and we're able to make, I don't know, what do you think, at least 4 trips today?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I wonder if I should bring a can of gas with me. I think the gauge works.
Well, we'll find out. If not,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a long walk.
I have to call the wife. I need your help. So my father-in-law, he's got one of the older 210s, and it's a really good tractor, don't get me wrong. But these newer John Deere 210s, man, this thing is so much smoother than his is. I can definitely get used to this. All right, well, we are on load number 3. So far that tire's holding up. We can start to hear it a little bit more as each trip goes on though. I'm real surprised it hasn't blown yet actually. So we can get one more load in today. I think we'll be okay. We're gonna go ahead and focus more on the main field right here than we are on that area over there. That one still needs quite a bit of work to actually be like a substantial area where we can grow, whereas this one already has the water cannons, and it's not gonna be too much work to actually get things up and going where we're at right now. All right, so this is gonna be our last trip for the day. I just took a look down at the fuel gauge and we're just about out of gas. I'm actually hoping we make it back to the ranch. We're gonna go ahead and check out this old jalopy of a tire and see how she's doing. Yeah, it's getting worse, that's for sure. I think it's definitely time for a new tire. So I probably won't be making too many more trips like this on the actual roads, and I'll probably just keep sending it at the ranch until the tire actually blows, and then we'll go ahead and replace it. You got like 3 feet still that you can come in. That's about a foot away, just for reference, so you know. All right, well, this is gonna be the last scoop for the day. It's looking like a pretty good one. Oh, hang tight. Oh, hold on. Oh no! Hang tight. Whew, just barely. Let's do one more. Let's just send it. So we've only been doing 3 per trip, but it's been doing pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and do 4. And this may be the one that puts it over the top and blows that tire out, but I'm not very far from my house, so it's not too big of a deal. If we lose a tire, it won't be the end of the world. All right, well, let's see how she does. A little nervous, but it'll be all right. Back up a little bit. Okay, go ahead. put more of the weight on this side. That's a lot of poop. All right, well, I'm gonna get going back. Huge thanks to Steve.
Anytime you need some crap, let me know.
Right on, man. We'll see you next time. Decided to do some good old-fashioned bartering. Brought Mr. Steve some eggs. That's right. All right, we just got done dumping load number 5. And if I had to guess, they're roughly around 3,000 pounds of load. So we brought 15,000 pounds of horse poo out here. So I'm trying to have as productive of a day as possible. There's a bunch of stuff I'm trying to squeeze in. I think I'm gonna still need the little dump truck up there for a couple things. So we're gonna go ahead and run up there in that. And then I'm gonna run down, grab the 299. Then we may need the water truck. Gonna need some marking paint. Gonna need a 300-foot long tape measure most likely, and a couple other things. But my end goal today is I would like to have pretty much the perimeter all graded, have everything marked out, have the fertilizer spread out. I do need to repair the wiring on my solar well pump so we can fill up the water truck. So you get the point. There's a lot of stuff going on right now that I'm trying to get done single-handedly. All right, there's the little water truck fired up. Hopefully she starts. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Love this old Cummins. I love all the old trucks that I get to drive around, but on hot days like today, the old GMC, you know, she just, ooh, well, just ran over something. Not sure what that was. Oh well. So using my powers of deduction, I tried figuring out which one was positive and which one was negative. I guess I forgot to bring my meter up here with me. But this one, basically how it had been cut, you guys can see how it was short right here. This was the longer portion of the ones that connected up under there. And then this was the longer one. You guys can see how much longer it is. Let's see. And then this cable right here, the negative one, had been cut much farther down the line. So this was the shorter one. So technically with what's here, that should be correct. Still possible that it's wrong, but we're gonna go ahead and turn it on and see what happens. Power. We're looking good. We got the valve opened up. Hopefully there's still water in the well. We'll know here in just a second if it starts pumping water out. Trying to figure out where the outlet is. I hear it coming. There's a screwdriver right here. Oh, and here's the water. Beautiful. So now that it's working, I'm gonna go ahead and clean off the solar panels a little bit so that it'll pump better. I'm gonna go ahead and weed whack around this real quick. There's probably a snake hanging out here somewhere. Man, we are gonna have to let the GoPro cool down again. It is scorching. But yeah, I think we're looking a little bit better. I'll go ahead and get that hosed off one more time. And I think it's gonna pump just fine. We'll get that water truck starting to fill up. Let's go ahead and get these pulled out. Oh, those ones kind of hurt. They got a bunch of stickers on them. What's crazier is the more you guys get this thing cleaned off, you can actually feel the water getting stronger. Which would only make sense because there's actually more sun hitting the panels, but it's still pretty cool. And you guys, on a side note, all the work that we did back to this water truck, I don't know, it's probably close to a year ago, super paid off. It runs so good. The temps just stay right where they're supposed to. I still need to lift this thing off and actually replace the wooden runners that go underneath there. But overall, super pleased with this thing. Couldn't be happier. Definitely should have weed whacked a little bit more. Oh well. Let's go ahead and get this hose up in there. We'll turn the pump back on. And last summer, this thing roughly took, I think it was about 6 hours to fill up, which for a garden hose on a 4,000 gallon tank, that ain't too bad. Really need to come back up here and finish this project. We may be shifting gears again. The rodents have chewed into this wire a little bit and they were touching each other, which was making the unit think that it had a full tank. And because of that, it quit pumping water. So now that we've got the power back on, Let's see if the pump light will turn on. Hopefully. It's possible there's more chewing going on in here, but oh, there we go. Pump is on. We should start to have water going into the truck in no time. I basically have it like wrapped around that little thing up there and going into that inlet. And I think I'm starting to hear it, so I hear a little bit of water. So I think we're good. We're gonna go ahead and let this sit. I'll come back up here in a couple hours. Hopefully we have, I don't know, at least halfway. If we're halfway, we're good. That's enough for what I'll need it for today. So most of you probably know this, but for everybody that's somewhat new to the channel, over the past couple years, I have slowly been trying to piece together a cattle ranch. And this is one of the components that are gonna be very important in it. This is the RPS solar pump. I did a feature on this probably like a year ago. It's a super rad setup. If anybody's interested in what these are, you guys should head over to their website. I'll put a link down below so you guys can check them out. Just awesome, awesome. I'm hoping here in the next couple months I can actually start to finish this project. We want to build like a old-fashioned looking shade structure with a water tower. And that water tank that I picked up a couple months ago is actually part of that. So I'm still slowly just piecing everything together. So anyways, that's what that's all about. But I need to run over to Ryan's and grab my auger because we're gonna need that to drill a bunch of fence posts, because all of the panels that we put in there, we're actually gonna be putting in some fence posts in concrete to help stabilize everything. All right, well, we went ahead and got the bucket switched out. I brought a sledgehammer up here. You guys can probably guess what it's for. I'm going to try and remove the concrete from all of these. But as far as actually removing the concrete from these fence posts, I'm not gonna do too much today because it is hot, hot, hot. And this is something I would rather do like early in the morning or late at night. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and do a little bit of dirt work right here. I'm gonna see how easily it comes off, see if it's like an insane amount of work right now, but I don't imagine it being too bad. It's extremely old concrete. There's no rebar in it. Like that one will probably just pop off. But I'm gonna go ahead and take a couple swings and see how it works. That's not too bad. We pretty much got all these cleaned already. That only took me a couple minutes. I will tackle the rest of that once it cools down just a little bit. So for now, I'm gonna go ahead and jump back in the 299. We're gonna start clearing down, knocking down some of these weeds, figuring out where we want to put the fence panels roughly. And then once I have a general outline, we'll go ahead and run back over. We'll check the water truck. We'll see where it's at. Then I'll do like a real heavy saturation of the pathway that we wanna do, make it nice and flat. That way our fence is not doing this. We got a nice straight surface to work with. And then the inside, we're not gonna worry about that too much. We'll smooth that out later. So we got a decent amount of water, but not as much as I would have hoped. We're probably about, 1/3 of the way there. The overcast is definitely not helping today. We got some pretty good cloud cover right now. So that greatly diminishes the solar pump's potential, but it's gonna be enough for what we got going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down. Oh, off, okay. We'll get the hose pulled out, then we'll go ahead and put some water down. Nice. All right, well, we already ran out of water. We didn't get too far. Spent 3 hours filling it up, 10 minutes putting it down. We're gonna work with what we got. I'm gonna try and get it a little bit flatter. We got kind of a low spot here. Over there's a real low spot. That's another real low spot. So if we can get these worked out today, that'll be good. If not, it's not the end of the world, but I will set this up there tomorrow morning when I leave to go ahead and start filling up, so that way it can have at least 5 or 6 hours to fill up. Then when I get back, hopefully we can put down something a little bit more substantial, have a little bit more water to work with. But for now, we're gonna just get our basic path done, and then I'll probably go start knocking out all the concrete off those posts, and then we'll get our lines painted on the ground, and then we'll probably call it a day. So let me see what I can get done. So apparently this is the place where chains go to die. Just found another one in the dirt. We're gonna go ahead and just set it back here for now. Run over and grab another scoop of DG to put in that little low spot over there. All right, well, after going back and forth a couple times, we were trying to figure out like the best placement on where to put this, and we ended up with this corner right here. Originally, we were gonna go a little bit farther that way, but we decided that we wanted this space for something else down the road. Not gonna say what it is quite yet because it's like long-term stuff. So this is where we're gonna start, and it's gonna go probably, I don't know, I'd say 200 feet. And then we're gonna try and do a super straight line from where the fence is up there. Obviously it stops at the entryway, and then we're gonna have a big gap of nothing right here. But we want this section of fence to start off basically where if we were to draw an imaginary line from the entryway, it would just keep going straight that way. And then we have our other orange spot painted on the ground right here, which is gonna be about 2 feet from that wash station. That point can change a little bit. A lot of it is depending on these panels and how they line up. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut some of these free. We're gonna get them dragged into place, and we're gonna start kind of mocking them up and see how everything lines up. All right, so starting to figure out some of the math behind this. These are 16-foot long panels. Let's go ahead and see how long these ones are. So far we have 7 16-footers, 7 10-footers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 8-footers. And these ones right here are super long. These are 18-footers. I'm pretty sure these are gonna be 16-footers. All right, so we just got done measuring everything out, and I think we're gonna have just enough paneling to fence off this whole area. It's gonna be 170 feet from that orange mark right there, all the way to where it's gonna be perfectly in a line with the fence that comes off of the entryway. So it's gonna be close, but I think we're gonna have enough to do it.
I've always dirtied everything that I found. This ain't no different, so look at you now. And baby, cut yourself loose. Save all the things that I said that night. Playing it cool, but I never got it right. Baby, cut yourself loose. I was mesmerized by your eyes. Keep me up every night. Keep me up every night. There ain't no satisfaction for me now. There ain't no satisfaction for me now. There ain't no satisfaction for me now. Now that you're gone, now that you're gone, now that you're gone. Now you know everything that I am. Caught in the palm, no backup plan. So baby, cut yourself loose. Cause a little trouble, don't shed a tear. Keep that sunny smile from ear to ear. And baby, cut yourself loose. I was mesmerized by your eyes. Keep me.
So I was trying real hard to go for symmetrical as far as like equal length of pieces, but given what we're working with, it's just not gonna happen. So we've got a 14-footer right there. We're gonna try and pack in an 8-footer right there, and then we may have to shift this over just like a couple inches for it all to fit together. So because of how things are laid out, we're gonna go ahead and have to slide things over just a little bit so these can line up. And we're actually gonna have that far corner just be a little bit past the building. All right, well, I think we're gonna go ahead and call it a day. We got a pretty good start. We got our corners figured out. We got our lengths figured out. We are gonna be adding 2 more pins right here, which we just went and double checked everything. We have enough to build the pins right here. And then the rest of it's gonna be super straightforward, pretty easy. Basically just gonna continue that line, come around, and then wrap down this way. And that's gonna be it. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up. I got a super early morning tomorrow. All right, we just got back to the ranch not too long ago. Yesterday was an extremely long day. I didn't wrap things up till about mid. Trying to take it a little bit on the easy side today, but not too easy. I've been breaking the concrete off of all these poles for the last probably 20 minutes. And then we're gonna go ahead and start to spread out the rest of the panels. And I'm hoping today's the day where we actually get like all the layout finished and it's starting to actually look like something. So that's my goal. I didn't get as much done as I wanted to the other day, but that's okay. Sometimes things just take longer. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my truck out of the way because I'm gonna go ahead and finish those posts and I don't want any concrete flying and hitting my truck. So as soon as I get done with that, we'll go ahead and jump in the 299 and we'll start moving all the panels around. I'm really hoping that I can wrap this up by like 5 or 6 o'clock because I need to change the oil in my Peterbilt. It's already due for one. And then yesterday I pushed her pretty hard. So we're gonna try and be nice to her, give her some love. So regardless of me finishing or not, that's something that I have to do today. So I'm gonna not focus too much on filming and try and get more work done, but you guys get the point. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to work. Just finished knocking all the concrete off. Left hand's gonna have some blisters for sure. But doing this, if I had to guess, saved me at least $1,000. Those are very thick gauge poles. They got lots of hardware on them. We're gonna try and reuse all of that. And I'd like to say that's all the poles that I have out at the ranch that are like that, but I have another stack just as big that needs the concrete broken off as well. But we're gonna save that for another day. I'm gonna do something that's a little bit easier right now. We're gonna go start filling up the water truck again. And not that I need water for anything that I'm doing today, but occasionally you have the freak accident where a tractor catches on fire. And on a hot, dry day like today, that's the last thing you want. So we just want to have a little bit of water on standby just in case something crazy happens. And I'll be honest, need a little bit of a break. I am no longer a spring chicken. So there's not a cloud in the sky today. We got crystal clear blue skies. This thing should be just cranking out the water. And hopefully we can get a decent amount in there again because it's super dusty out here and I kind of want to do the driveway. Let me get you turned back on. Should have, oh, it's already coming out. I like it. Whew, that is hot. But I gotta use both hands to climb up the water truck, so stand by. Oh, you guys, this water feels so good. Oh my gosh. Woo. Oh, it is so hot today. Woo. All right. Now that I'm cooled off a little bit. Yeah, she's pumping lots of water today. I'm guessing this thing's gonna fill up pretty quick. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take like a little 5-minute break. There's a nice little breeze right now. Gonna go ahead and cool down for just a second. All right, I'm gonna take one more quick drink of water and get back at it. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with the 2 little side pens that we're gonna build. And to do that, we're gonna need 2 little 8-footers. I take that back, we're gonna need 3 of them. Let me go ahead and swing back around and grab another one. So this just keeps going from bad to worse. I tried grabbing all 3, started with 2, now I have 1. I'm just gonna come back and grab those on my next trip. So trying to design this stuff is actually kind of hard. Originally, just gonna be pasture for the jerseys. And And then I started thinking, you know what, why don't we make this a cattle sorting area? We can put our loading ramp, we can put the squeeze, we can put our scale. Then we started changing up the design a little bit, looking at stuff, but I don't think this layout is gonna really work for that. So we're probably gonna save that for either the back of the property, or we may do it over there. We haven't 100% decided yet, but regardless, I'm gonna go ahead and build these 2 pens. And then I'll go ahead and start on that fence line over there, and we'll see how far we can make it. That's all the time I have for today to spend up here, but we did get these 2 pins pieced together. I got a couple modifications that I got to make to this one pretty quick. I'm gonna have to bring the welder up here to do it. But basically we have this panel right here, which has the exact same style flange as this one, and they don't quite meet up correctly. So what I'm gonna do is adapt it to the style that the actual gates have. They basically just have a piece of C-channel right here that's welded to it. It's much thinner, and it will fit in between all of this. So we'll be able to attach this panel to this panel, and then once that happens, this will all be one uniform structure. So I really wish that I could just finish all this today, but like I said, I don't have the time for it. I gotta go down to the shop and give the Peterbilt some loving, but the rest of it is gonna go super fast. It's gonna be super easy. It's basically just fence panels that way, 1 or 2 fence panels, and then a gate, fence panels, fence panels. It's gonna go up super fast, but I'll see you guys down in the shop. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and put the screws this video because changing the oil on the Peterbilt, probably not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's something that I have to do before the day's over because Peterbilt is gonna be putting in the work tomorrow. So we try to take care of her as best we can. But thank you for taking a little time out of your day to watch this video. Truly appreciate it. And if you could do me a huge solid, like, subscribe, share this video with your amigo, hit that notification button down below so you guys can continue to see progress with whatever else we got going on, like the grader. And now that I'm actually talking about that, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a quick little sneak peek of what's gonna be in either the next video or the video after that. I don't know, whenever I get to it. This was just dropped off today. These 2 little pieces of plastic, or whatever material they are, were $55, and I'm pretty sure that's the only reason this grader is running bad. So once we get those things replaced, we're actually gonna be trying to do some work. We'll do the fine tuning on the carburetor. Hopefully everything goes smooth. But anyways, thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.